So in this sense, we have become participators in the construction of the universe. We have no right to say that the past exists independent of the act of observation. The past exists only insofar as it's present in the records of the here and the now.
In the grand tapestry of existence, there are questions that have echoed through the ages. What is our purpose? What happens when we die? But perhaps the most profound question of all is, who are we, really? What if I told you that everything you've been taught about who you are, your past, your identity, even your very existence, was a carefully constructed narrative, an illusion? From the moment you're born, a story begins to unfold. A name is given, roles are assigned, and boundaries are drawn. You accept these as truths, because that's what everyone does. But deep down, a feeling persists that something isn't quite right, that the limits you've internalized are not truly yours. You see your body, your job, your relationships, and your past as fixed parts of yourself. But what if all these things are just roles in a play? The cells in your body are constantly dying and being replaced. The body you inhabit today is not the same body you had 10 years ago. Even your brain, the so-called control center, has rewired itself countless times. So, if your body is always changing, how can it possibly define who you are? Consider this. Time itself isn't what we think it is. What you call the past and the future are mental constructs, a kind of stage that gives the illusion of movement. In reality, everything is happening now. The you that existed yesterday and the you that will exist tomorrow are not separate entities, but threads of the same infinite fabric. You are the loom. Imagine reality as a movie reel, each frame existing simultaneously. What you perceive as time is just the projection of these frames in sequence. The movie only plays because you're watching it. The great minds of science, like the physicist John Wheeler, quietly uncovered these profound truths. Wheeler's theories challenge everything we thought we knew about reality. He introduced the concept of the participatory universe. The act of observing reality doesn't just reveal it, it creates it. You're not a spectator in this universe. You are the director, the writer, the actor, and the stage itself. But somewhere along the way, you forgot. Your awareness isn't just part of the equation. It is the equation. Without an observer, the real doesn't exist. The reason you may not realize this truth is that you are wearing a headset. It convinces you that you're lost in a dense and terrifying forest. You hear the growls of unseen predators, feel the cold air clawing at your skin, and you panic, you fight, and you run. This is the illusion of the ego. The ego whispers in your ear that you're small, separate, and powerless. It feeds on fear, thrives on doubt, and convinces you that the world is happening to you, not through you. But the moment you take off the headset, you realize the forest wasn't real. It was a projection. This is the nature of the ego, a filter that distorts reality, making you believe you're something you're not. And the longer you wear it, the more you forget what's real. Wheeler's theories dismantle this illusion. He showed that reality isn't a cold and indifferent machine. It's fluid, alive, and responsive. Every thought, every emotion, every choice you make sends ripples through the fabric of existence. You are the observer, the creator, the architect of this grand design. You've felt glimpses of this truth before, those moments of synchronicity, when you thought of someone just before they called, or when life seemed to align in ways that defy explanation. These are not coincidences. They are the universe responding to your awareness. When you stop seeing it as random and start wielding it intentionally, that's when the shift begins. You stop being the wave tossed and turned by the ocean, and you remember that you are the ocean itself, vast, infinite, unstoppable. Think of a whirlpool in a river. It seems separate with its own identity and motion. But is it really separate, or is it simply the river in motion, a temporary form in an infinite flow? You are that whirlpool. Everything you call you, your thoughts, your emotions, your body, is like the swirling water, constantly shifting and changing. But the river, the awareness beneath it all, has no beginning and no end. Wheeler described the universe as a self-excited circuit, a loop that exists because it observes itself. You are not a passive passenger in this loop. You are its source. If everything you think you are is constantly changing, then what remains? Who or what is observing those changes? Who is the constant witness behind every thought, every emotion, every experience? It is that still unchanging awareness that is you. And this awareness isn't just personal, it's universal. The same awareness that observes your life observes the universe itself. The stars, the galaxies, the entire divinity. It all arises within this infinite field of awareness, and you are that field. Wheeler's concept of the participatory universe means that you're not just observing reality, you're shaping it. Every thought, every intention, every emotion sends ripples through the fabric of existence. The observer effect shows that particles don't exist in a fixed state until they're observed. The universe is not a machine, it's a symphony, and you're the conductor. Every note you play shapes the melody of your life. But most people miss this because the ego hates this truth. The ego clings to the illusion of control, convincing you that you're separate, small, and powerless. Why? Because the ego thrives on fear and limitation. The moment you see through it, it loses its grip. It's like stepping out of a dark room into the sunlight. Suddenly, everything is clear. And once you've seen the light, you can never unsee it. You're standing at a crossroads. You can continue living as a character in the story, reacting to the plot as it unfolds, or you can take control of the pen and start writing the story you were meant to live. You've always had this power. It's been there, waiting for you to remember. Wheeler's work isn't just a scientific theory. It's a roadmap back to your true self, a self that is limitless, timeless, and inseparable from the universe itself. This is your moment to wake up. Are you ready? Let's go deeper. Think about everything you've ever feared. Loss, failure, rejection, death. Where do these fears come from? They come from the belief that you're separate from the world around you, that there's a line between you and everything else. But that line doesn't exist. It's like drawing a boundary in the ocean and pretending the water on one side is different from the water on the other. The universe doesn't exist out there. It exists because you perceive it. And because of that, you're never separate from it. You're the ocean, not the drop. Close your eyes and imagine a moment when you felt completely connected. Watching a sunset, hearing a song that moved you, or standing under a sky full of stars. In that moment, there was no you and no other, just an overwhelming sense of being. That wasn't coincidence. That was reality showing you its true face. And in that moment, you weren't observing the universe. You were the universe. That connection wasn't fleeting. It's who you are underneath the noise of the ego. The problem is, most people spend their entire lives drowning in that noise, never realizing the silence was there all along. This is why the idea of death terrifies us so much. We think it's the end, but how can something infinite have an end? Time isn't linear. It's not a straight line with a beginning and an end. It's a loop, a spiral, an eternal now. What you think of as your past and future are simply perspectives within this infinite present. If you were never truly born, how can you ever truly die? Your awareness doesn't begin or end. It simply shifts, like a wave returning to the ocean. You don't disappear. You become everything. Stepping into this truth means you no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstances. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every loss was never something happening to you. It was the universe reshaping itself through you, teaching you, guiding you. When you stop resisting that flow, life transforms. The struggles lose their grip and the fear dissolves. You realize that the very thing you've been running from was the key to your liberation. How often have you blamed yourself for not being enough, smart enough, strong enough, successful enough? What if those feelings were never yours to begin with? What if they were just part of the ego's story, designed to keep you small? You're not here to prove yourself. You're here to create, to explore, to remember. The universe doesn't judge you. It responds to you. Every thought, every belief, every emotion shapes the fabric of reality. If you believe you're limited, that's what you'll see. But the moment you remember your true nature, the moment you realize you're not the wave, but the ocean, everything shifts. You've glimpsed the truth, but you need to integrate it. See the illusion and step beyond it. Think about how much time you've spent searching. searching for meaning, for love, for success, for some kind of validation that you're enough. The more you search, the further away it feels. It's like chasing your shadow. No matter how fast you run, it's always just out of reach. Reality isn't something you find, it's something you create. Everything you've been searching for has been within you all along. Imagine reality as a canvas, completely blank until you decide what to paint on it. Most people paint unconsciously, letting old fears and beliefs dictate the picture. They don't realize they're holding the brush. The moment you wake up to this, the moment you see that your thoughts and beliefs shape the canvas, everything changes. Wheeler called this the participatory anthropic principle. The universe doesn't just exist because of you, it exists for you, responding to your every choice, your every vibration. What kind of universe are you creating right now? Is it one filled with fear and limitation, or one of infinite possibility? When you shift your awareness, the universe shifts with you. This isn't just metaphysical, it's physics. Wheeler's it from bit theory proves that at the most fundamental level, reality is built from choices. Yes or no, believe or doubt, fear or trust. Every single choice creates ripples that shape what you experience. A single thought, a single moment of awareness can send a shockwave through your entire existence. You felt this before, those moments when everything seems to align, when it feels like the universe is speaking directly to you. That's not random, that's you stepping into your power as a creator. Think about the stories you've been told about what's possible. How many of them have you believed without question? Stories about who you are, what you can achieve, what life is supposed to look like. Those stories aren't real. They're programs handed down to you by people who were trapped in their own illusions. Every time you accept one of those stories, you give away a piece of your power. Reality isn't fixed. It's fluid, like a river that bends and shifts with every turn of your awareness. Will you keep flowing with someone else's current, or will you start carving your own path? Ask yourself, who am I? Not the roles you play, not the labels you've been given, but the awareness asking the question. Feel it. That's the real you. This awareness isn't bound by your past, your circumstances, or your fears. It's infinite, limitless, unstoppable. But here's the catch. Most people never realize this. They stay asleep, trapped in the ego's illusion, believing they're separate from the universe. They live their entire lives as waves, never realizing they've always been the ocean. You're different. You're here because a part of you already knows the truth. A part of you has been waiting for this moment to remember. This is your turning point. You can let this knowledge fade into the background, or you can take the leap. You can choose to step into the truth of who you really are, to claim your role as the creator of your reality. You are never small, never powerless, never separate. You've always been infinite. The universe is waiting for you to remember. Think about the moments in your life that felt too perfectly timed to be mere coincidence. The times when a random stranger said exactly what you needed to hear, or when the solution to a problem appeared just as you were about to give up. You may have shrugged these off, told yourself they were luck or chance. What if I told you there's no such thing as randomness? What if those moments weren't accidents, but messages? Proof that the universe is alive, responsive, and deeply connected to you. Wheeler's participatory universe reveals that the universe isn't a cold, chaotic void. It's a web of interconnected possibilities, each thread responding to your awareness. This isn't just metaphysics, it's quantum physics. Wheeler's work on quantum entanglement proves that once particles interact, they remain connected, no matter how far apart they are. At the most fundamental level, everything is connected. Distance doesn't matter, time doesn't matter. The entire universe is one indivisible whole, and you are a part of it. Every thought you have, every action you take, sends ripples through this web of connection, influencing not just your life but the entire universe. Nothing you do is ever isolated. Every choice, every belief, every vibration you emit is felt by the whole. What kind of ripples are you creating? Are they born of fear, scarcity, and doubt, or are they born of trust, intention, and alignment? Most people don't even realize they're holding the pebble, let alone that they're tossing it into the pond. Synchronicity becomes more than a curiosity. It becomes a guide, a compass, showing you the way to live in harmony with the infinite. Look back on your life and see the synchronicities for what they really were. Not random events, but echoes of your own awareness. Proof that you've always been connected to something greater. The more intentional you become with your awareness, the more the universe will align in ways that defy explanation. The myth of randomness is just that, a myth. The truth is far more empowering. You are the architect of your reality, and the universe is your masterpiece. Your emotions are incredibly powerful. They're the key to everything. When you wake up in a state of joy, everything seems to flow effortlessly. But on days when fear or anger dominates, the world seems to mirror that back. Emotions aren't just feelings, they're frequencies. They're the language through which you communicate with the universe. Just as a radio station tunes into specific frequencies to play a song, your emotional state tunes you into a corresponding reality. The universe isn't out there deciding whether or not to bless you. It's responding to the energy you're emitting in every moment. Wheeler tells us that observation shapes reality. But what drives observation? Your emotions. They act as an amplifier, intensifying the ripples your thoughts send through the quantum web. A fleeting thought might create a small wave, but when charged with emotion, be it fear, love, or excitement, it becomes a tsunami, shaping your reality with overwhelming force. Most people let their emotions run on autopilot. They react to the world, believing their feelings are caused by external events. What if the opposite is true? What if your emotions aren't reactions, but the very cause of what you experience? Imagine waking up with gratitude and excitement. That emotional energy vibrates outward, aligning you with opportunities, connections, and experiences that match its frequency. You're not reacting to a good day, you're creating one. Emotions are powerful whether you wield them intentionally or not. Negative emotions create just as effectively as joy and love. They just create a reality you don't want. Reality is participatory, not judgmental. It doesn't care whether your emotions are positive or negative. It simply reflects them back to you. Your emotions are like the fuel in a car. You can't drive without it. But what happens if you fill your tank with the wrong fuel? You can consciously choose the emotions you fuel your life with. Imagine two realities existing side by side. One where you're stuck in fear, and one where you're thriving in joy. Both realities exist simultaneously as possibilities. The one you experience depends on which frequency you tune into. Your emotions are the dial. You don't need to suppress or ignore negative emotions. They're a signal showing you where you're out of alignment. When fear arises, instead of resisting it, ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? By observing your emotions without judgment, you dissolve their power over you. You reclaim control of the dial. Every emotion is a conversation with the universe. When you feel gratitude, you're saying, I'm ready for more of this. When you feel fear, you're saying, I expect more of this. The universe listens without fail. The universe is participatory. It responds not with words, but with alignment. The energy you emit becomes the reality you live. What reality are your emotions creating right now? Are they building a life of abundance and joy, or are they reinforcing a story of struggle and lack? You're not at the mercy of your emotions. You are their master, and through them, the master of your reality. For the next 24 hours, become hyper-aware of your emotions. When you feel joy, amplify it. When you feel fear or doubt, observe it, question it, and let it go. This small shift will send ripples through the quantum web, aligning reality in ways that will astonish you. Your emotions aren't just a response, they're the blueprint of your universe. In this very instant, there are infinite versions of you, each living a completely different reality. There's a version of you who made every decision you've ever hesitated over, a version who said yes instead of no, took the risk instead of playing it safe. And all those realities already exist. They're not some distant fantasy. They're happening right now. You are not stuck on one path. Your awareness is the key that allows you to shift between these realities, choosing the one that aligns with who you truly are. Reality is like a massive streaming platform with infinite channels, each channel representing a different version of your life. Right now, you're tuned into a specific channel, one that reflects your current beliefs, thoughts, and emotional frequency. Just like changing the channel on your TV, you have the power to switch to a different reality. The version of you that's living your dream life isn't some far-off future. It's a parallel reality that's as real as the one you're experiencing now. Wheeler's It from Bit theory shows us that reality isn't fixed. It's constructed from choices and possibilities. The observer effect in quantum physics confirms this. Particles exist in a state of potential until they're observed. Your awareness acts as the observer, collapsing potential into reality. Which version of reality are you collapsing into right now? The one you want, or the one you've unconsciously settled for? You don't have to create the life you want. It already exists. Your dream life, your ideal self, the version of you who's fearless, joyful, and unstoppable, is already living in another reality. You just need to align your awareness with that version. It's like tuning a radio. When you match the frequency, you hear the music. How do you tune into a new reality? First, recognize that your current reality is a reflection of your beliefs and emotions. If you believe the world is hostile and opportunities are scarce, that's the reality you'll experience. But when you shift that belief, when you choose to see the world as abundant and supportive, you begin to align with a different version of reality. Your awareness is like a spotlight. Whatever you focus on becomes brighter, more vivid, more real. Close your eyes and visualize the version of you who's living the life you desire. See their confidence, their joy, their abundance. Feel what it's like to be them. How do they walk? How do they speak? What choices do they make? Start acting as if you are that version, not someday, but now. The moment you begin embodying that energy, you're tuning into their frequency, aligning your awareness with their reality. Wheeler's interactive universe shows us that this isn't just imagination, it's physics. Your awareness, your choices, and your actions are the tools that shift you between realities. You have the power to change. It doesn't require years of effort or external validation. It requires a shift in awareness, a decision to focus on the reality you want to experience. What will you align with? The universe is not static. It's a dynamic, living field of possibilities, and you are the one steering the ship. This isn't just about creating a better life. It's about realizing that you've always had the power to choose. Every moment is an opportunity to shift, to step into a new reality, to align with the infinite potential that's already yours. Are you ready to change the channel? Because the version of you that's waiting on the other side is ready for you. All you have to do is tune in. Consider every experience you've ever had, every triumph, every heartbreak, every fleeting moment of joy or pain. What's the common thread that ties them together? It's not your body, your thoughts, or your emotions. It's the awareness behind them, that unchanging, silent presence observing it all. This is the real you. What if the entire universe is a mirror, reflecting this awareness back to you? Wheeler suggests that consciousness and the universe are inseparable, locked in a dynamic dance where one cannot exist without the other. Imagine standing in front of a mirror. What you see isn't the mirror itself, but your reflection within it. The universe works the same way. It's not out there. It's a reflection of your awareness, constantly shifting and responding to what you project. The moments when the world seems to be speaking directly to you are not imagination. It's the mirror of the universe reflecting your consciousness. Wheeler described reality as a self-excited circuit, a loop where the act of observing creates the thing being observed. You are both the observer and the observed, the creator and the creation. The stars in the sky, the people you meet, the events you experience are all reflections of the awareness within you. The mirror doesn't lie, it doesn't judge, it simply reflects. If you look into it and see chaos, it's because chaos exists within your awareness. If you see beauty, it's because beauty exists within you. The universe isn't punishing or rewarding you, it's responding to you. When you're confident and joyful, doors seem to open effortlessly, and people are drawn to you. But when you're filled with doubt or fear, it feels like the world mirrors that back. This isn't coincidence, it's the divine mirror in action. You are not just in the universe is in you. The mirror doesn't just reflect your surface thoughts, it reflects your deepest truths. If you believe you're unworthy, the universe will mirror that belief. If you believe you're limitless, the universe will reflect that too. The more you understand yourself, the clearer the reflection becomes. Close your eyes and imagine the universe as a giant mirror surrounding you. Ask yourself, what is it reflecting back to me right now? What patterns do you see? What beliefs are being mirrored back to you? This isn't about judgment, it's about awareness. The mirror is neutral, but precise. It will always reflect what's within you, nothing more, nothing less. The universe is participatory, yes, but it's also deeply personal. It exists as a reflection of your unique consciousness. Every experience, every person you've met has been part of this reflection, guiding you to a deeper awareness of who you really are. Are you willing to look into the mirror with clarity and intention? Or will you keep turning away, blaming the reflection instead of changing what's being reflected? You have the power to change your reality by changing your awareness, but you must take full responsibility for what you see in the mirror. The mirror doesn't just reflect you, it expands with you. The more you align with your infinite nature, the more the universe reveals its infinite possibilities. The participatory universe isn't just a theory, it's a blueprint for awakening. The divine mirror is your guide, your teacher, and your creation. What will you choose to see? Because once you see it, you'll realize that the universe has always been waiting for you to wake up to yourself. The universe isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. So, what will you do with that power? Right here, right now, take one bold step. Drop a single word that captures what you feel in this moment. Ready, awakened, limitless. That one word isn't just a thought, it's a choice. It's your signal to the universe that you're stepping into your infinite potential. This is only the beginning. Here, we don't skim the surface, we uncover the truths that can transform your life. This is your invitation to join the community of creators, the architects of reality, shaping a universe that aligns with who they truly are. The universe is waiting. The next revelation is already unfolding, but only for those who dare to look. Don't be left out. Take the next step toward becoming the limitless force you've always known you were meant to be.